although the task itself, it's just a lot of information, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit unclear about it, but I'm thinking when I listen to it, it's about strategies. I believe as a team, we can go back to the drawing board. Maybe emphasize on the marketing, maybe use different methods this time. Maybe use more of media, like your radio or TV. If possible, even have a slot on the popular radio station in the area where we normally have a slot where we can say things, and then people can come and give testimonies, and then we explain factors which are like, not so clear to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, Mameli, thank you very much. So what Mameli said was that perhaps we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to go and revisit a lot of what we can do in terms of media. So let's now proceed from that idea and see what we can build on there. Who's next?
Can I say something?
Yes, of course. Joy. Is that Joy?
Yes.
Yeah, please speak, Joy.
My point is maybe if we reduce the waiting period on the GHing and extend more days, like waiting days when you GH, like the period should be 2 weeks, and then for the people who PH, maybe get 2 to 3 days waiting period to PH, and so that we will have more people PHing than more people GHing. I don't know if you get my point.
Okay, Joy, thank you very much. So what Joy said was to extend the waiting periods for PHs and GHs. Now, how does that idea sound to our members? Anybody like to comment?
Sounds good, David.
Oh, sorry, just one person at a time. Mameli is speaking. Go ahead, Mameli.
Yeah, I was saying the periods between the GHs and PHs, it sounds very good. And then on that note, at the same time, we can, hype it up so that our downliners, when they recruit, they can emphasize it to the new recruits that, you know what, you get it within, if you GH, you get money within such and such a period, 2 weeks. And then at the same time, we can maybe, hype up the percentages that you get, your bonus percentages. I believe it's not something that it's so popular. Let us popularize it one way or the other, so that when people go out to recruit or we go out to recruit, those are some of the things we highlight to get people in, to increase on contributions and registrations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mameli. So Mameli felt that Joy's idea was very good, but what we need to do is to give it a boost, and we need to promote it quite strongly amongst our members. So who would like to take that further? Who's next?
Yes, can I just add on that?
Thank you, Terence. Go ahead.
Hello. Okay, what I wanted to suggest that the first idea actually was the right one. What I would also add is that on the team itself, all right, we give each other targets as to how many people they should recruit. Like for instance, we then dedicate, like for instance, in a week, each member should at least recruit, maybe let's say 10 new recruits. Over and above that, what they need people that register actually come through in terms of donations and providing help. In that way, then it's going to be easy for us to monitor the team, to say that, okay, there's 5 of us in the team, each one must just bring 10 people, and then we can then review that a day after or 2 days after. Then that way we can then see how far we've gone in getting activities.
Okay, thank you, Terence. Is that all you wanted to say?
Yes,
is that all you wanted to say, Terence? Okay, so Terence is talking about giving a boost to recruitment. Guys, we need a lot more input here. We don't have a lot of time to develop this, so please come up with your ideas. Who's next? Who's next?
Hello, can I come in?
Is that Tumelo? Please go ahead, Tumelo.
Yes, when I'm reading this, it says, let me quickly go down. It talks about due to lack of funds, there are delays in payments. The old participants seem dead. Neither make their own contribution nor attract new members. So all what it means that we need to go back to our drawing board, because now we need new members, because the old members, seeing that the situation is bad, they don't want to contribute anymore. So what I'm thinking is that we need to make promotions. Maybe do the 30% rate of return instead of the 30% in order for us to attract new people. And then we should go to the radio stations and also go to the radio stations and announce that we have a new promotion, and we inform them that the new promotion has a deadline date, of which if you don't join within that deadline date, you won't get the special. And also, I think we also need to then print out flyers with the same messages and have food soldiers who will go to the malls, who will go to the what I can say, to the suburb areas or wherever, go to door to door, visiting families door to door and explaining what Triple M is. And yeah, and also going to the schools, giving pamphlets to the kids so that they can give to the parents, or also informing the kids, because most of the times when parents hear the kids talking about something, they tend to give them attention. So I think that's my point.
Thank you very much, Tumelo. That was a very thoughtful contribution. So what we have is Tumelo, Mamele, and Joy are all on the same page.
Can I?
Sorry, yes, I'll give you a chance now. So what we're saying is, and the consensus that's coming through, is that we need to revisit our basic plan here. We need to go back to the drawing board. So this is what we seem to be having agreement on as, among some of our members. Okay, so who was that person who would like to speak?
I'd like to say something.
Is that Suzette?
Yes.
Hello, Suzette. Please speak.
I would like to add on what Tumelo just said. How about we also introduce a recommitment clause that says that if you request help, the system automatically requests you to provide help of a certain percentage, maybe like 10% of your GH.
Okay, Suzette, is that is that complete what you wanted to say? Sorry, Suzette.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Was that all you wanted to say?
Yes, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. So Suzette has come up with a new idea.
Can
and
I
that is to, yes, sorry, who is that?
It's Tumelo.
Hi.
Tumelo, please, can you just add to that? Thank you.
Adding to recommitment, I think that's another way of recycling the funds in the system, because what's the use of someone GHing and then not recommitting to the system again? So I think in that way, money will then go out of the system, and no, money will come in the system before it goes out of the system. So in that way, I think we will be able to help each other as a community. And I think in a way, money will be rotating among the members of Triple M. Thank you.
Tumelo, thank you very much. So we have Tumelo and Suzette on the same page here, and it's a very interesting idea. And that is to commit a certain percentage of your GH back. Yes. What do other people think of this? Any other comments?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello.
Can I comment?
Can I talk?
Sorry, who is that? Just say your name, please.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Brian?
Muzi?
Brian.
Brian?
Muzi?
Brian and then Musi. So Brian is going to speak first, and then we'll have Musi. Brian, go ahead.
I would like to comment on what CZH has just said. Right. I believe it's a good idea. Right. We've been discussing this with other members, and they all suggesting the same thing. If we decide to GH from the system, at least let's PH something back. So if let's say we're getting 30% from M, so now if we were about to GH, at least the first PH 10% of what you want to GH from the system, then so that the system can release something for you. And in that manner, then we are able to balance the system. Understand? Because now we have incoming money balancing the system, which is, I think, that's gonna balance the system. Otherwise, people are because now they want to GH.
Brian, sorry, it's David here. Can I just interrupt you? I just need to ask the meeting generally, if you're not speaking, can you please mute your microphones? There's a lot of interference. Can we just give Brian a chance to finish what he's saying? You'll get your chance to speak. Go ahead, Brian. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if I was clear enough since everyone was talking at the back or the mic was on. So I was saying, if we have something, if you GH from the system, at least if there's something that's PH back to the system before you do the full GH. For instance, you want to GH 5,000, the system is already giving you 30% of whatever you have invested in the system. So now, first PH 10% of the 5,000 that you want to GH, right? So that we have the balance between the incoming and the outgoing money in our system, and in that way, then our system will not dry out from as it happening right now. Because now what's going to happen? People are going to GH and GH and GH, and that's all going to. That's the only thing that's going to happen. Thank you.
Okay, Brian. Thank you very much. Who was next?
Yes, I would like to. David, can I make a suggestion as well?
Sorry, I think Musi was next. I will come on to other speakers now. Let me give Musi a chance. He's been waiting. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Musi.
My point, yes, my point here is GH is auto GH, auto PH is a good one, maybe to return something to the system back. But my point is here, it will work perfect with a certain amounts, ranging from certain amount. For example, with 1,000 rand, if let's say a person has to PH back at 10%, a 10% will be 100 rand. That can work. But if somebody has got less amount than 1,000 rand, I think it will be very impossible. It can work the auto the PH. Auto PH, but with a certain amount. Starting maybe, on my view, I think from 1,000 rand that will work perfect. But somebody with less than that, I don't think it can work. Thank you.
Okay, Musi, thank you very much. Who was next? There was a lady there who has been struggling to speak for a while.
Yes,
I think it might be Dave. Liz.
Is that Liz?
Yes.
Please go ahead, Liz.
Dave, I agree with everybody with what they've just said, but I think the recommitment should be a full recommitment. So in other words, if you've committed, done a PH for 1,000 to start, you need to let that grow, obviously, until you've got, say for instance, 3,000. But before you GH that 3,000, you recommit another PH for 1,000. So you're actually boosting the system, and if the people aren't agreeable to that, then like also was suggested earlier on, when you GH, at least PH for at least 20% of the amount you GH for, instead of taking it all for yourself.
That's a good contribution, Liz. Thank you very much. I'd just like to come in here with a comment of my own. If you can just bear with me. This idea of recommitting some of us, sorry, just hang on a second. This idea of recommitting some of our GH back to the system is very much in line with MMM's values. And there's two critical values. One is that we're not in this to grow exorbitantly wealthy, but to build a sustainable, a reasonable standard of living. And the other thing is we're here to help other people grow. So this idea is very, very interesting, and it's nice to see it taking off like this. Sorry, who wanted to come in just earlier?
That's me, David.
Yes, please. You've been waiting a long time. I'm sorry about that. Please speak. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I wanted to say we can have PH, like what is the best PHing? That's what I've been thinking every week. And when you GH, you make sure that you've got a substantial amount of money that you are going to get again. So that maintain your amount of PHing so that you can help others.
David?
Yes, Tumelo, please. Tumelo, please go ahead.
David, I think we are dwelling too much on one idea. Let's just agree that we are all pro that idea of PHing before you GH, and we make a ceiling of the amount that you need to GH all the time. So what I'm thinking is that let's come up with other ideas. For example, let me give before I can give others an opportunity, let me put through my idea. Let's say we have a car wash event. With the car wash event, we kill two birds with one stone. Let's say we say a car wash, one car is 100 rands. And the owner of the car, we register him in the system. And with that 100 rands, he provides help. So in that way, we get his car washed, and we also register someone. I think that will be a brilliant idea, and we go nationwide. We select a group of maybe 10 guys who goes into the different cities or whichever our target areas are, and we, because car washes, we only want water and soap and washing rags. That's all. So I think maybe that can be another idea for us to increase the number of new registrations. Thank you.
Tumelo, thank you very much. Tumelo is right. Yusuf, I'm going to give you a chance now. We do need to move on though. We have become a little bit stuck on this one idea, and we don't have a lot of time to resolve this particular task. So Yusuf, what would you like to contribute?
No, it's okay. I'll contribute.
Sorry, Yusuf. Go ahead.
Hello?
Okay, I was just saying the idea of like an event in a stadium or at halftime, we can hijack even. Okay, let me put my ideas in order. I'll talk soon.
Okay,
hello,
all right.
I also want to contribute. Hello?
Sibongile, yes,
hello?
Go ahead, please. Hello, Sibongile, go ahead.
Yes, I hear everybody is just talking about recruitment, which is fine. But what about the all participants? Because right now we're faced with that situation where people are so demotivated. They don't know what is happening. I think it is very important that all members of PM, they must attend some courses updating. Everybody has to understand that when you join, have a good knowledge about Triple M. idea how ask GH without PH? There must be more people than GH. I don't know if you are, I'm putting this here. Because the old motivations, why are they not motivated? You cannot only add when we have people in the structure who are not motivated. They're still part of the process. Hello?
Okay. Who wants to talk next?
Can I say something, David?
Is that Nyama? Sorry, who is
no,
that?
It's Joy.
Joy, please go ahead. Go ahead, Joy.
Yes. For the old members, because now if we have more downliners, all we will focus on is GHing, not more PHing, because we have more downliners and that does the work for us. So why not put the pause mode, let the pause mode work on the old members so that they don't frequently GH, but to remind them that they need to also PH, not letting the downliners to PH for them. Looking at, it's the bonus that they get from their downliners. I think the pause mode will have to work also. I don't know if I'm clear.
Okay. Thank you, Joy. Who's next?
Hello? Nuko. Hello? Nuko.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Please say your name. Say your name.
Nuko. Nuko.
Please go ahead.
Nuko. Hello?
Please go ahead.
Nuko. Should I speak?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I agree. Okay, thank you. I agree with the lady who just spoke now. Like currently, the system can allow a person to GH as long as that person recruits more people. That person can only GH the bonuses. I think this for now what we can implement is even a person can recruit as many people as he can, but that person must also PH, because I think yes, PH, because I don't understand this idea of people GHing without PHing just because they recruit more. I think another thing that can inject our system is for people to PH. No matter how many downlines you have, it doesn't matter how many referral bonuses you get, but you must PH as well. I think the system must also they must also build a program that if you don't PH, you cannot GH.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Dominic here.
Yes, Dom, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I also want to make a suggestion in line with the percentages that are being charged in terms of the bonus percentages. I also think that if that percentage could be in a way reduced, because over time, if you do the mathematics, you're looking at the 30% that one gets, plus then the continued 10% charges, 10% bonus that they get for every transaction that is done by their many downliners. This, in a way, will encourage the old members. They have a lot of bonuses from their downliners. So I understand the bonus is there to encourage people to recruit more, but I think we also need to look deeply into that. It will help you manage at least the amount of money
David?
Yes. Go ahead.
I think the one for GH, we already sorted that one out, because we said for 1 to GH, they need to PH before they do that. So I think that one we had sorted out, unless I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you are wrong. I'd like to hear us just take this a little bit further. We don't have much time left.
Hello?
Hello, it's Mali. Hello?
Please go ahead, Mameli.
Okay. Because of new innovation, the new content PHing and GHing, I think there is a market that we really need to tap into. The informal business market. You know, like taxi driving, taxi drivers, people who are on the stalls in the street. You know, small groups, maybe women groups like your church group, like people who just put themselves into in terms of running business. Those are the informal markets that we can really expand into. You know, because already it shows those people are in need of money. Let us just try to expose the MMM ideology to such people so that the community grows, you know, and then within the new having, we can now use the new systems of teaching and teaching, as well as emphasizing on the practice to expose them to the fact that they need to go out and recruit more. You know, at the moment, when I say there are really many people within MMM. Thank you, David.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, hello David. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I would like also to agree with the last, Mamile, with her comments. I would also like to say, we need to consider also the all participants, like like one of our guiders said that we need to consider the all participants. The auto GH needs to happen, but we need also to have an auto PH. When somebody gets maybe, let's say, 10% of what they have now in the system. Let's say, for example, you have 40,000 and then you get 10%. You need to have maybe 10% of what you are having, automatically providing help back to the system just to keep the system strong, because if we take it just, auto GH and not providing again, then we're not making the system strong. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Guys, we must just remember what the task is asking us to do. We have to describe our plan of actions for the next month. Our plan of actions. What solutions will we invent and what action will we actually take? So now the amount of provided help and registrations that are expected is certainly relevant, but it is in the context of that broader question. So I'm not sure we've made much progress in answering that.
Hello, David, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. One of the strategies that can be implemented now in this next month is firstly, since you've realized that there is a reduction in PHing as a result of lack of people's understanding on how the system works in order to protect the system. First, we can roll out, organize some mass gatherings of members, and then begin to teach them. So every weekend we have gatherings everywhere in the halls around the country. We all the members are gathered and they will begin to re-educate them firmly on the benefits of continuing to maintain, of continuing to PH and how that will help the system. So yes, we focus on educating now the members deeply, because not every member gets the opportunity to attend the guided school, so they don't get the opportunity to really get the knowledge and the deeper information.
That's right. That's true. Okay.
Yes, that's my first suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. All right, next person.
Hello, David.
Yes, please speak.
David? Okay, I just wanted to talk about the end privilege, the manager's bonus. It's like the managers have earned their positions to earn those bonuses, and the bonuses can be used to stabilize the system. Like you can even PH a huge amount of money to stabilize the system.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, David.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, David?
Sorry, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm just saying, can people who are not talking please mute themselves, because now there's too much feedback and we can't hear the points.
Okay. Who's next?
Can I add something, David?
Yes, please go ahead.
David?
Yes.
Yo. David, can I come in again? Sorry, David. David.
Hello, yes, go ahead.
Can I come in? On our task, we are given a month. So I think let's break down a month into, a month is 4 weeks. So let's just try to break down our task, our plan in the 4 weeks. What will be our plan for the 4 weeks to recover from the minus 20%? What do we do on the first week? What did we do on the second week, the third week, and the fourth week? I think if we break it down like that, we'll make progress.
Tumelo, I think that is absolutely correct. That's my belief as well. Who is going to take on that responsibility?
Yes, can I
And we
suggest something there?
We need to decide quickly, guys. We don't have much time.
I would suggest that we go to the rural areas. Maybe have a fun day there or something for a week, because people in the rural areas are technologically challenged. They don't know much about technology. They don't know how to register. They're not clued up about M. And I'm sure many of them would be interested, since the Provide Help fee can start from 100 rand. So many will be able to join.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Can I say something? Can I say
We're
something?
Hang on. Sorry, Tumelo, just 1 second.
Okay.
Tumelo has made an important point. We mustn't lose sight of it. We need to set out our actions over the next 4 weeks. We need someone to do that.
Can I have another suggestion for you?
Okay, Tumelo, please go ahead.
Since you are the one who is in control, let's say give a platform for the first week, so we can all agree on the first week. Once we're done with the first week, give platform for the second week. Once we agree on the second week, then open a third platform for the third week. Once we're done with that, then the fourth week. I think in that way we can be able to concentrate on the 4 weeks that we have.
Okay, Tumelo, thank you. Sorry, Sibyl, can we just hang on one?
1 minute, 1 hour is up.
Hello, Sibingeli, I will.
1 hour is up.
1 hour is up.
1 hour is up.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for the contribution, David. Way to go, guys. I'm going to post the next task. David, would you kindly read the next task in the chat box? Then.
Okay, if it can also go on Skype, I will read it easier there.
Okay, may you all kindly post the tasks on all your badges, the mentors in the room, the mentors in the meeting. Please post the task on your group chats. Thank you. Posted, David. I just posted it for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I see it. So this is task number 6, everyone. What it says is this. During this month, delay in payments increased to 7 days. Referral activity almost to 0. The old members do not attract anyone and do not make contributions to. In virtue of this situation, a pause mode is implemented in which all the old Mavros are frozen and will be available for withdrawal when the situation will right itself. New contributions grow as per old conditions. They are not frozen and available as usual. Make your plan of actions for another month. Resources, contributions, members, etc. Now for this task, we only have 40 minutes. Would anybody like me to read that again? All right, can I assume that everybody understands what the task is?
David, please.
Mamele, you're up first. Please, will you speak?
Yes.
The network is very bad. Mamele, are you speaking? Please speak, Mamele.
Maybe try to
Sorry, I think we've got other people who are trying to speak at the same time. Guys, please, at the moment, Mamele is speaking. Can you please just mute your microphones? Thank you. Mamele, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Mamele.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. What I'm saying is, can you just repeat it and maybe try to break it down for us? Because it looks like there's a couple of things that we need to understand or to do.
Yes,
Thank
I'll
you,
do
David.
that. Okay, so the task number 6 is as follows. During this month, delay in payments increased to 7 days. Referral activity almost reduced to 0. The old members do not attract anyone and do not make contributions either. In virtue of this situation, a pause mode is implemented in which all the old Mavros are frozen and they will be available for withdrawal when the situation rights itself. New contributions grow as per old conditions. So they're not frozen and are available as usual. So what we are expected to do, please, make your plan of actions for another month in terms of resources, contributions, and members, etc. Where our referral activity is almost 0. No one is being referred, okay? Then the second part of it is the old members are not attracting anyone and then don't make contributions either. So you can see that there is a whole frozen situation here. Now, what the task says, in virtue of this situation, a pause mode is implemented in which all the old Mavros are frozen and will be available for withdrawal when the situation rights itself. Now, as you will recall, this is the standard protection mode that MMM implements. Okay. New contributions grow as per old conditions. They're not frozen and are available as usual. Now what we have to do is, in this situation, to make our plan of actions for another month. So what would we recommend in terms of resources, contributions, members, and all of that sort of thing? Guys, we have 40 minutes for this and we've already used some of those minutes. So is everyone up to speed on what the task is?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Mamele, I think, wanted to talk first. Can I just give her a chance to go?
Okay. Thank you, David. I think for the first week, what can happen is to have a strategic meeting with all our old, just to make out the bigger picture for everyone. How the actions is in the system, what are the implications of the whole thing that has been going on, and maybe even try to explain clearly the pause mode. Why would we have a pause mode as an implication from the non-referrals, the non-contributions? Because in the first week, that's what we do. And from that first week, we can take it further in terms of what we do further. Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, who was next?
Okay,
Toriso.
can I say something?
Yeah. Please go ahead. Clarissa, please go ahead.
Can I say something?
Please go ahead.
Yes, I was saying, how about...
Sorry. Clarissa, please go ahead.
Hello, can I say something? How about we include... Can I speak? Yes, I was saying, how about we introduce our system to those people who were already introduced to the system, and then tell them about the system. How about that?
Mameli, you wanted to come back? Did you want to say something?
I want to suggest something.
So Wingile, please go ahead.
Okay. For the first week of the month, 4 weeks, that week, I believe that we can auto-pay at 10%, balance, and to avoid delays in payment. Because that is what is discouraging when there's nothing happening. So if people are sitting with a lot of money who can provide help, but they are not PHing, or they just money is just sitting there. So I think we can use that money there.
At my end, Clarissa, I didn't catch a lot of what you said.
What I'm saying is, for the first week, to avoid delays in payments or to freeze the system, how about auto-PHing? Because there are people who are sitting with lots of money in the system. They are not GHing or PHing. So if you contact those ones, the reason why people they don't want to recruit is because of there is nothing but there's delays. Avoid delays. Don't have a lot of money.
Anybody wish to comment on her idea? Is that something we can take forward?
We didn't hear well, David.
Can I comment, David?
Yes, please go ahead.
Me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes,
okay,
hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello? Yes, I want to
Andeka,
comment on
you.
Hello?
Andeka, I can hear
No.